So these are your little pots of metallic ink, and as you can see, you've got the ink at the top, and then at the bottom there, I hope you can see, you've got that layer of aluminium. What you want to do with that is, before you use them, you want to just swirl them, and again, what I'm going to do, you should be able to just pick up, there we go, those little ball bearings in the bottom of the pot, just swirling around and mixing this up. Now, it's very important with this ink that you swirl it like this. Don't shake it like that. If you shake the ink pot, what will happen is you will bring all of that lovely aluminium up to the top of your colour, and what you'll have is a layer of silver aluminium and then your ink underneath, which you don't want, and you'll have to just leave that pot to settle and go back to it later on. So swirl, don't shake, but make sure, can you see we're getting there? But there is still a little layer there. Just make sure that that is all mixed in. If you prefer, you can obviously stir them with a stick, but this will work well, and it will only take a few minutes. There we go. So that is pretty well mixed in, and I'm going to do the same with my amethyst, just to make sure that that's nice and clear. There you can see there is no aluminium at the bottom there, and then we're going to do the same with the green citrine. If you're using them for any length of time, put the lid back on. That's very important, and make sure it's done up tight, and then give them another swirl. Okay, so I have got a grey rubber stamp this time, and we're going to stamp with them. Now, you can do this technique, and you will have seen me do this technique with the marker pens, and you may wonder therefore why we would want to do the same with the pots. Now, with the marker pens, you have to work very quickly because you've got a very fine nib. What I can do, I'm just going to tip that in the tiniest amount, but what it will enable you to do is to cover a large area of your stamp quickly, far, far quicker than you can with your brush pens. And speed is of the essence when you're working with your metallic inks, because whilst they're wet, you can get some movements. Once they're dry, they will not move at all. So let me just get some green, and we will top the edges of the wings just with some green, just so that you can see the difference in the two colours. That green citrine, by the way, is gorgeous. Okay, I'm just going to move those carefully to one side and just grab my stamping platform and some dark card, and then we're going to go straight down and stamp and just give it a good press. This is a big stamp, and we're going to lift away. Now look at that. That is beautiful. The detail in that is absolutely incredible. Now, very quickly, I'm just going to grab some white card, and let's see if we can get another stamp from this. So I'm just going to give this quite a substantial spray, more than I would with my water-soluble inks, because this is water reactive rather than water soluble. But let's see if we can get another stamp from this. And you saw how little I used. Whoa, that is incredible. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just one extra. So that is 2 lots that we've got from there. Should we try a third? Let's try a third. Okay, so this time, where's my water pot? What I'm going to do is just refresh it a tiny bit more, and let's see if we can get a third stamp from this. It makes these really cost effective to use. So we'll just give that a good stamp, and let's see. Wow, that is gorgeous, really lovely. Now, before that dries, just move that out of the way. What I'm going to do is just spritz this with some water. And what you should be able to see, oh, I love that. I love that look. Look at that. Doesn't that look incredibly arty? That looks fantastic, does it not? Really lovely. I'm just going to wipe this up, and then I'm just going to give that second one we did a bit of a dry. Let me just pop my lid back on there, because I know what I'm like. I'll jog the table and these will go flying, and we wouldn't want that. We would not want that. Okay, right. Let's just give this one a tiny bit of a dry, because I can see where we've still got a few damp patches of the ink, and of course we had a damp card there, so I'm just going to dry that off, and then we're going to spray it, just so that you can see that once these are dry, they're not going to go anywhere. And that means you can do lots of different techniques. If I then wanted to go over this beautiful image of a butterfly that I've stamped with the metallics, and I wanted to do, say, a sparkle background into the background, I could paint straight over the top. But here, right, this is water, and I am going to absolutely drench this card, and hopefully you will see, look at that, soaked. I'm soaked, the mat is soaked, but you'll see once that's dry, that is permanent on things like your card and your porous surfaces.